First, I want to say, women, if you had a baby already, please stop scaring new moms. Hey queens, y'all, it feels so good to be back. I'm just so excited to continue to share this journey with you guys. If you are new here, welcome. I am Gabby, also known as bnaturallyglam. I just need for women to stop talking about the negative, especially if a new mom is positive with all of this. It's already kind of stressful. You don't know what to expect. So if you see somebody got a positive vibe, stay on that positive level with them. Don't focus on the negative when it comes to pregnancy, because that may not happen, and that was me. But moving along on to this labor and delivery, y'all. So I got to first say that I was so nervous about going to the hospital. That was my first time ever getting admitted into the hospital. And with this pandemic going on, y'all don't understand, I was saying some prayers, okay? That's why I wanted a home birth, and I'll actually talk about that when I mention my baby. Yes, she has a story, and then you will get to meet her on that video. Everyone at the hospital was so nice. Everybody came in, greeted themselves. They used hand sanitizer as they came in and out. As they removed their gloves, they washed their hands or used hand sanitizer. That's what it was all about, because I was checking. So I had to get induced. So I was 40 weeks plus 5 days. I had to go in on Monday, December 28th for my induction. And that's where you have to get Pitocin. And I heard stories about Pitocin, and I was like, I am not a fan of this already. I'm like, Lord, I just want my baby to come naturally. I just didn't want any medications for the contractions to come along. I had no choice. I was just happy to be full term. I had to be at the hospital at 6 a.m. So when I got there, everything was smooth. Once you get in, they check your temperature, of course, go over the whole questionnaire. You've been around somebody with COVID, all those types of things. But then as soon as we got to the floor, they were like, oh, we've been waiting for you. I'm like, oh, okay, that's sweet. We got to L&D, which is labor and delivery. You'll probably hear me say L&D versus saying the whole thing. But as soon as we got to the room, they had me undressed, put the gown on, and the first thing they did was my COVID test. I'm settled. I have my IV. They just did my COVID test, and that was my first one. It wasn't that bad, just a little pressure, and she only had to do one nostril. How you feel?
Good, man. Anxious. Ready to go. Ready to go.
So we're hoping that Marielle will come today, praying she will come today. I'm guessing I'm waiting on my COVID test results. But they just gave me a packet to read, about their services here, all the medications they'll be giving me and baby. We just chilling. You can hear my baby's heartbeat in the background. She has been so excited since we got here. So I'm sitting up here like, when y'all gonna get these results back? That was my first time ever taking that test, so I was nervous about that too, because everybody was like, it hurt, it brings tears to your eyes, sometimes your nose bleed. But the nurse that I had, she was so gentle. She walked me through everything. She was like, okay, so first, well, I will say, some people have mentioned that they do both nostrils. She only did my left nostril, but it didn't hurt at all. I was happy about that. And I see it depends on the person that's doing the test, because like I said, that wasn't painful. I had a metallic taste after, which is that kind of blood taste that you have. My nostril did bleed just a tad, but not a lot. I didn't get my results back until the next day when they were giving report to the next nurse, before the shift changed. So I'm sitting up here like, okay, was I negative? What's going on? But I guess if I was positive, they would have told me, and I would have had to wear my mask the entire time. So thank the Lord I ain't have to do that. Because during this pandemic, I have heard some women say they had to wear their mask. And I'm like, how in the world are you supposed to push You get hot and sweaty and a mask on. And I just heard a woman giving birth. I don't think I was ready for that. Oh my goodness, it sounds like in the movies. So they were like, let me turn your TV on so you don't get distracted. I know I just met the second staff. They just switched. So next they're going to check my cervix. So I'm praying I am more than 1.5 centimeters dilated. But they started the Pitocin Drip, and they started me at 2, I want to say, and they just increased my Pitocin every 20 to 30 minutes. I had a huge bag of normal saline going at the same time, and I went through 2 of those. So of course I was going to the restroom, and they did allow me to have ice chips and water, but that was it. So I was like, okay, I'm tired of going to the restroom, so therefore I'm not going to drink any water anymore. While that was going, the nurse came in, and I actually told them I had a birth plan. This is something that I found online. I can drop that link down, because I was like, a birth plan? I was telling my friends I don't have a birth plan. What does that look like exactly? But I did my birth plan a couple days before getting admitted into the hospital, and it was simple. I was happy they actually looked at my birth plan, because I've heard some people say that they really don't focus on that. As far as my birth plan, I liked it because it had like choice A, B, C, D, and you can just check off what you want. Like there was a question on here, please note that I have group B strep or gestational diabetes. I didn't have either of those, but I did write on there that I had low iron. And it asked your plan of delivery. You could check vaginal, C-section, water birth, VBAC, which is vaginal birth after C-section. They had during your labor, I like to, you can choose play music like I did, dim the lights, just stuff like that. That was so helpful, and I was just happy that the nurse and the doctor came in and asked about my birth plan. Well, as far as the doctor, the first time she came in, she was just like, do you want an epidural at all? And I told her that's not completely out, but I didn't want anybody to mention it. And she was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, it's okay, you didn't know. I did tell her I had a birth plan and gave that to the nurse. So she actually asked the nurse for the birth plan, and she came in and went through it with me thoroughly, and she was just telling me like, I'm gonna go over some of these things, because in the case of an emergency, this has to take place, you know, instead of what you saying. And I was just like, that's perfectly fine. I just wanted to give my plan of action, but of course, in the case of an emergency, whatever needs to take place first, we're going to prioritize that. The doctor I had was amazing. So anyways, back to the Pitocin. Wait, before I even mention the Pitocin, y'all, I got so much stuff. I'm like, God dang it. I'm just jotting stuff on my phone, so it was in no type of order. But I'm trying to do this off the top of my head so I'm not staring over at my computer. You know all the items that I did take to the hospital based off of my previous video. I'll put a card up above just in case you missed that what I packed in my pregnancy bag. And I did mention that I took my birthing ball. I took crossword puzzles, all that. And since I'm doing this video, I will tell you, I did use everything except for my robe, my birthing ball, and the crossword puzzles. Marion had cards, and guess what? I didn't think I was going to be able to play those cards, but yeah. So it took my mind off a lot. I was like, yeah, let's play some cards. I wasn't studying no crossword puzzles. We played cards, and I had a little twerking music going on. Anything to get you through, okay? But at the beginning, when I was carrying Marielle, I would play 3 gospel songs on my way to work. And I think that helped me, because I played those 3 songs while I was in the hospital. I played them back to back, because I'm like, she done heard these before. Baby girl, we finna do this. It's time, okay? I had to get my mental together. And the reason I didn't use my birthing ball is because I had to be monitored the entire time. I could stand up, but I couldn't go far. So it was like, what's the point of standing up if I'm, if I have to be right beside the bed? So I did not like that. I tried to get as comfortable as possible. I was able to maneuver my body just left and right on the bed. that still wasn't fun. The most uncomfortable position was on my back, though. I hated that. Like, once the contractions started going. But back to the Pitocin. They increased my Pitocin. I was looking at that monitor each time they increased the dosage, because I'm sitting up here like, okay, when am I really going to start feeling the contractions? But I think it was around, all I remember, to be honest, is looking at the dosage go to 16, and I was looking at the clock like, okay, it's been 4 hours and y'all checking my cervix and you telling me I'm still at 6.5 centimeters. After 4 hours, 6.5 centimeters, I was just there, stable. So that's when the doctor came in and she was like, I know your birth plan does not say a C-section, but since your cervix isn't dilating much, a C-section is going to have to take place. It's just going to be the safety for you and your baby. So, of course, I broke down after that. I'm like, Lord, this is my first baby. I don't want to go through no C-section. Just, I don't know. That just took a toll on me for a minute, you know, and Mariam was like, it's okay, calm down. They're going to try one more thing. They increased it to 18 milliliters. That's when the night shift was switching. So they gave rapport about me, and this nurse, I remember her name is Brenda. When I tell y'all she came in and took actions, she did the darn thing. She told me she'd been there for 20 years, and I'm just like, man, this is crazy. I'm getting all emotional again. But all I'm going to say is she turned that whole situation around. Like, from based off what the doctor said, they were like, we're going to try one more thing. Brenda came in and they had it looked like a birthing ball, but it was in the shape of a peanut. And she told Marian and I, if I can have this between my legs on my left side for 30 minutes to an hour, then turn over on my right side for 30 minutes to an hour, this will definitely increase my contractions. Y'all, she wasn't lying. Oh my goodness. I don't know what it is about that peanut ball, but them contractions were hitting. At the beginning, I was fine all the way until the last few hours is when I was like, okay, these contractions, they coming, because I have bad menstrual cramps already. So the contractions to me just felt like pressure, just like my regular cycle. But like I said, with the last 2 to 3 hours, I remember saying that last hour, I told Maria, and I was like, I can't take it no more. This is it. This is it. It hurts. I was able to do 30 minutes on both sides, but y'all, I was asking him like, okay, how much more time do I have left? Because them contractions, I don't even want to talk about it. All I could do was take deep breaths, and I told them, they were like, you want anything for pain? They knew not to mention epidural, but I didn't know, but they actually gave me fentanyl. And that was just a pain reliever, supposed to be anyway, but it really didn't help much. So while the contractions were just coming back to back to back every 5 minutes, that's when she was like, do you want to try something else? And that's when they gave me oxycodone. And she was like, we just going to give you a little bit just to relax. I'm like, I really don't want that because it makes me loopy. But it really helped. I'm telling you, I could feel that all over my body once it was given to me. I was just like drowsy out of it. But it really did help because I was able to relax. So soon as I told Marion I can't do it no more, I'm ready to tap out, that's when I was like, okay, either I'm peeing on myself or, which that did happen. I was so embarrassed. The contractions was hitting so bad, I was like, forget a restroom. I'm here now. So I got to go. So, of course, the nurses used to stuff like that. That was better than doing number 2 on myself, which I've heard before. But they just came in, got me up, and changed my bed. Of course, it happened a second time, but that time is when I told Marion, okay, my body is pushing. That was just weird to me. Oh, I know I didn't mention this, but I did buy this L&D program. It's called Love Your Labor. That program helped me out so much. I'll also drop the link down in the description box. But y'all, that program was amazing. She talked about pre-birth, delivery, and postpartum. She talked about breastfeeding. She talked about acupressure points that you could use before to help with the contractions. She talked about acupressure points that you can use during delivery, and when I tell y'all, it helps so much. And people told me you can prepare for L&D, but once you there, you're not going to remember that stuff. That's a lie. That stuff came to me just like that. She had acupressure points where you could get a comb and place it in the palm of your hand and squeeze. It doesn't necessarily take the pain of contractions away. It just have you focus on a different pain, if that makes sense. So I tried that. It's just a little rat tail comb, you know, what you part your hair with. I brought that into the hospital. That didn't work. I threw that. Oh, she had another acupressure point where you just kind of, you know, go to the shoulder, just in the middle of your shoulder blades, basically, and you press there. Have your partner or supporter press there. The main acupressure point that helped me was the pressure on my lower back. Just imagine it's basically like this. Your partner hands are just like this, and he pressing firmly, not no light press. You know how those contractions are. If you don't, they painful. So you have to apply pressure there. You press firmly down and you push up. That acupressure point helped me out so much. I'm telling y'all. But yeah, that program is great. You need to purchase that program. It's amazing. Once you buy it, it's a lifetime that you can have the program. All you do is set up your credentials and log in, and boom, it's there. So it's just something that you and your partner have to do together. So I gave Marion my credentials and he logged in, and he knew what to do. I was so happy about that. He remembered the pressure points himself. I was like, I don't even know if I'm gonna remember this. It's funny because he was on his phone the whole time trying to update people when them contractions hit. I had to just grab his hand because literally when them contractions be hitting back to back, you cannot talk. I thought they were playing, but no, you cannot say anything. I just had to grab him and just put his hand on my back like this to focus. Throw that phone. I don't care about it. Time to focus on me right now. Back to the Pitocin again, since that was the main thing, you know, to get this L&D going. Okay, since I didn't dilate much, you know, I told you I was 6.5 centimeters for like 4 hours or more. And they tried a different monitor to accurately monitor my contractions, but it wasn't working properly. So the doctor came in and inserted an internal electronic fetal monitor, and that's what accurately checked my contractions around 8 o'clock. That's still a long time, you know, just gradually moving. First part, besides the contractions, is getting your cervix checked. I'm like, yeah, Lee, y'all got y'all whole fist and arm in there. What you doing? So they like, don't tense, don't tense. I'm like, please hurry up. I'll say around maybe 10:20, 10:30 is when Marion ran out there. You know, like I told you how my body felt like I was just pushing out Marielle on my own. That is an amazing feeling. Like with that Love Your Labor program, she said, she was like, do not have those nurses tell you when you need to push. Your body will naturally tell you when to push. And sure enough, that is the truth. When you're about to have your baby, listen to your body. Your body tells you everything. Nobody knows your body but you. So I was happy the nurses did not come in and do that. But like I said, when Marion ran out and grabbed Brenda, the nurse I mentioned earlier, and he told her at first that I tapped out, I was ready for some medicine, And so she was like, let me check her cervix one last time. She was like, oh, she's there. She's at 10 centimeters. So he was like, can she get the epidural? She was like, nope, it's time to push. She ran out and got the whole team. Well, she first asked, do you want to keep your legs up the entire time, or when you stop pushing to rest your legs? And I'm glad she asked that, because I'm like, when I see, movies, I'm like, I don't want my legs up the entire time. I don't want y'all to even have my legs back here anyway. That's why I didn't want to be on the bed. I wanted to be in a different position, because when you're in the hospital, you don't necessarily have to be in the bed. They have these bars, they have a squatting position, but based off my situation, I had to be bedridden. Pushing felt just like you were having a bowel movement. And I don't have a raw footage, because based off of the policy, they don't let you record. I wasn't even thinking about a phone. Marion wasn't either, because I was like, well, you know what? Just take pictures. Neither one of us was thinking about that. We were focused, So, yeah, that's how the natural feeling of pushing feels. That's how I knew Marielle was ready. I'm like, I'm pushing her out on my own. Anyway, the whole team was in there, but she told me, she was like, focus on me. And that's what helped me get into my zone, where I can hear her, because it's all these people in the room, and you just want to be able to focus on that one person. So my eyes was closed. I'm focused on her, and I'm focused on me and baby. That's it. She was like, I want you to listen to me carefully. And I did. So she was like, breathe in and release for 10 seconds, pushing outward. She said, I want you to do that 3 consecutive times. Then we're going to take a break. You have to focus. So you 10 second, just like that. That's how the breathing should go. I have to demonstrate that, because I'm like, I can't explain it. You're not breathing in and then you're not doing that when it's time to deliver. So you actually keeping the air that you inhaled internally, if that makes sense. Almost like you going to the restroom, having a bowel movement once again. Just try it, breathing in, because when you exhale, you see how fast the air just went out. But I got that from my labor and delivery program, and it helped, y'all. It helped tremendously. At one point I screamed. The nurse was like, up, don't scream. And when she said that, I was like, you right. I'm supposed to save that energy. You don't want to breathe in and scream, because that's putting pressure on baby, and that's making it hard for baby to come down the vaginal canal. So, oh yeah, I did say vaginal. Hi, I didn't tell y'all, but the C-section was out. Thank you, Lord. But moving on. Y'all, when I tell y'all, I had 4 cycles of those, and Marielle was here. The doctor was so amazed. She was like, I thought they actually gave you epidural, how you controlled your breathing and how you were so focused. They were like, you did an amazing job, because some women come in and get that Pitocin and be like, epidural now. But if you get into your zone, find things to do, to focus on, then it'll be smooth. I think, like Corinne said with the program, our biggest problem is fear, because you don't know what you're going into. So you get so scared, and your mind takes control, and like epidural. But if you don't focus on epidural, or don't have that team to mention epidural, you'll be surprised what your body can do. I was scared myself, but I had to say a prayer like, God, you didn't give me the spirit of fear. I'm going to go in and do this thing. I already know what to expect based off this, program. Even though I said everybody's body is different, this program helped me out so much. After those 4 cycles of pushing, Marielle came out at 10:58. She was 7 pounds, 13 and a half ounces, and 20 inches. My baby girl is here. And the amazing thing about that is that's Marion's birthday. So it's funny, because he was looking at the clock like, man, I guess she ain't gonna come on my birthday. I was feeling so bad. I was praying, because I told him, like, we get into the hospital, we get admitted at 6 a.m. Well, she has to come on that date, because they giving me Pitocin. I did get to record my placenta once Brenda was going over it with me, and I'm going to share that video with you guys. Y'all, that was just amazing. Y'all should have seen. I'm like a little geek, scientist, nerd, whatever you want to call me. So I was so intrigued. I was looking at her like, this is amazing. And what really upset me is I could not bring the placenta home because I didn't have a cooler with me. I was so hurt because that was her life support. So to be able to bring that home, take a piece of it, put it in a blender, I was so happy and ready to do that.
Amniotic side. So this is the side where she was in.
Oh wow.
This inside. And then of course you know this end. This is how the baby was attached to you. And that's your placenta, and it looks nice and healthy, as you can see. Not discolored, no clots or anything. Everything looks really good. A nice, healthy placenta.
Oh, wow. In the last video I'm going to share with you is Marielle actually latching on, where she did find my nipple and latched on her own. People were like, oh my gosh, she latched right on. When I tell y'all, from the time I got pregnant to L&D, my journey has been so amazing. I thank God so much for that. Everything just happened like it should have. But it's just amazing how everything works. You know, like soon as I had her, she latched on. She found it herself. She got it.
Look at that girl. Her little bit on.
Yeah. Hey, Mama, I can't believe your mind. And there was the milk. Well, you know, milk, that doesn't happen at first. It's colostrum. They call it liquid gold, which is the most important nutrients for baby. And after those 3 to 4 days, that's when your milk actually comes in. I hope y'all enjoyed this video as much as I enjoy making it for you. I hope you can hear the passion in my voice about it. There's so many women who have came to me and was so happy about my videos. They were like, I wish this video was out, you know, when I was having my baby. It's just so much that you don't hear. So I think this is definitely my new niche. You would get more videos about motherhood. And thank y'all so much for tuning in. I will see y'all soon. Bye.